Will Kayatin from the Kentucky Valley Educational Cooperative, and we are live here in Hazard, Kentucky. And it's cool outside, but it's supposed to warm up. And happy holidays coming up this week. And Doug Smith and Cheryl Mathis, my wonderful long-standing colleagues here at KVAC, and I decided we would just take a few minutes to thank you for your participation this fall and this winter in the region-wide transition conferences, which focused on our low-incidence students and supporting them and helping them move forward. And we had great participation. And we decided that we would just take a few minutes here in our professional broadcasting studio, the Holler, to frame the videos that we are going to send to you. We didn't record the entire conference because just a little too much, and we've got some pieces of that conference that we can actually revisit with you live. For example, Cheryl's workshop. We want to schedule that workshop and lead it live virtually at different points in the year. However, we did decide to record Doug and Chastity's workshop as well as Vonda and Stephanie's workshop. And so that's what you're going to see attached as a Vimeo and a YouTube link in the email that I'm going to send you. However, we wanted to frame it so you have a little bit of advice on how you might approach using this with your students this upcoming year. Terrific workshops. Cannot thank my colleagues enough, but I'm going to ask Cheryl and Doug to lend their perspective. So.
All right. I think Doug's up. Awesome.
All right.
Doug's going to share with us all of his great knowledge.
Right, yeah, and the workshop that we presented was based on the book, or from the book Alexander Who Used to Be Rich Last Sunday.
Oh, and I love that book. It's a really sweet book, and I think it goes to a lot of different grade levels as well.
Yes, and so, and what we talked about, where it was, we looked at as far as social emotional side of it. That part of the workshop, Chastity and myself did, and then Miss Vonda and Miss Stephanie did some math concepts with the book, which is very was really impressive. But anyway, we talked about as far as social emotional side, or as far as getting out of school and things. We talked about goods versus services, wants versus needs. We also talked a little bit about response costs. And we also hit on saving money and ways to earn money, and the importance of having long-term goals and being able to plan and work toward those long-term goals. And so, and I think with Miss Vonda and Miss Stephanie, they're math consultants here at KVEC. They looked at coin recognition, also looking at the value of coins. Of course, the young man, the premise of the story is the young man gets $1, and he's looking at ways throughout the book how he spends his money, and he spends all that dollar when what he should have been saving it for, and he didn't get to save it for anything. So they looked at concepts of subtraction and addition within 100, skip counting forward, counting backwards. They also used a number line and created a circle graph using that number line, and then to show percentages. And then they also used that number line and cut it apart and presented a bar graph with your students. So you could do that with that. Also, how to find the percentage and how to find proportions, and that was really cool the way they did that, because it made it simple and easy to understand, and I could even follow along, so it was really impressive. So.
Yeah, and I love the idea, because I think it would be awesome in our world of virtual learning for teachers or paraprofessionals or maybe even the media specialists to read that and put that to where kids can access that and listen to that repeatedly. Because some of our kids, especially low incidence kids, love to hear those stories over and over. So I think that would be a really good one to put in your digital collection for your Google Classroom or wherever you're housing your information. So definitely an opportunity there.
Yeah, and we used manipulatives with the story. So, and I think some ways that you could adapt that with, if you do not have the manipulatives, you could, use Michelle, what was you suggest?
Well, I think you could use the pictures, go to Google Images, and I know there's a bubble gum and some things like that. Definitely use photographs. And with the virtual learning, we may not have manipulatives to send out to students or for whatever reason. But I think those Google images would be really nice to use and just use those on the screen as you're instructing.
Because there are schools and teachers that may decide to use these workshops. And we're going to send them, but they won't have, like Doug said, the kits that we sent out to those teachers and students that signed up for the workshop. However, there's lots of things that they can do very simply. They can just download and cut images to use for the workshops. Easy peasy.
Yeah, and it'd be interesting to think about, and we didn't prep for this exactly, but to think about how much each of the kits costed. So there's bubble gum and I think was there coins, and I can't remember exactly what all were in the kits.
There
but
was chocolate, and there were little plastic animals.
Yeah.
Little, you see them at Tractor Supply, but these were even smaller.
Yeah, so I think really you probably could put a kit together for what, $2 or $3 a kit maybe.
Oh, yeah.
Or the pictures, low cost, no cost.
We bought 150 kits, and all of them went out.
Yeah.
In fact, we had to close the conference about a week before we hosted it, and we spent just under $1,000 on all the kits. But we bought a little higher end stuff, obviously. But this is stuff you can probably get with your budgets at the Dollar Tree or Family Dollar, or you can just download and cut little things.
Yeah, and I think you could really even make a unit out of it and add the social emotional piece, the literacy piece, and the math piece.
Yes.
So
So
you could do that.
you're basically getting 3 workshops for your students: social and emotional well-being, literacy tied in. That's what Chastity Craft, who's not with us today, sharing out. So we're doing it for her. I think she's already enjoying the holidays.
Yes, definitely.
And then we had the financial skills piece that Vonda and Stephanie brought in. And so you've got about an hour and a half of pre-recorded workshops, and we're going to send them to you in 2 segments. On Vimeo and YouTube, so you'll have the social and emotional / literacy piece that Doug and Chastity led, and then on another video you'll have Stephanie and Vonda's financial skills. All of this falls under the umbrella of life skills. All of it falls under the umbrella of transition, indicator 13. So it's not anything that I can count per se, because I'm not going to be present with you, and that's okay. But this is a wonderful resource. My colleagues did such a great job. I asked our engineers here in the studio to please record it so we could share it with you to reuse or use for the first time if you weren't able to participate.
Absolutely.
Especially great for our low incidence
Certainly
exceptional
so.
children.
Yeah,
correct?
absolutely. And really good for new teachers as far as the modeling of that instruction and how they did it virtually. I mean, it would be good for a new teacher to just watch it and get some ideas on how they could improve their instruction or develop a lesson or a unit plan.
5-star workshops without question. In fact, teachers were just burning up my phone with little text messages applauding Doug and Chastity and Cheryl and Vonda and Stephanie. They do an awesome job. I'm so proud that I can be part of their team and they're my colleagues.
Awesome.
So we just wanted to just visit with you for a few minutes just to frame it so you didn't have to sit and watch an hour and a half of workshops without knowing exactly what you were getting into.
Absolutely.
And hopefully this will help you turn it into a series of lessons as we start 2021. So
awesome.
if nothing else,
thank you, Will,
to
for
share,
those kind
thank you.
words. I
Privilege.
appreciate it.
Privilege.
Awesome.
And we appreciate you all, our teachers and our students that we have the privilege of working with. And we look forward to seeing you as we turn the corner on 2021. And as is customary here, we will holler at you later.
Holler at you later. Merry Christmas, friends.